right, I'm at the 16th annual Salt Spring Island Apple Festival. We're listening to the Godless Man's Gospel Hour here on Gulf Islands Radio. Lots of people around, lots going on, lots of 500 different apples. We're right next to this groovy apple cider, hot cider dispenser. Lots of people. Excellent day, beautiful day. You should be down here. But if you can't come down here, for all you folks that would like to be here that aren't on the island or are stuck at home because you twisted your ankle, you can join us vicariously through Gulf Islands Radio. So we're going to carry on with the entertainment here and get to see some of the people and interview them from the various areas they've come from. So let's go to the Walker Brothers, and the sun ain't gonna shine anymore. Hey, it's Bobby Magee back again at the Salt Spring Apple Festival, and I'm dropping in to visit a place called Organic Jams and Chutneys by
Magee.
Oh, okay.
And we're actually called Sunshine Rock Farm. That's the name of my farm.
Sunshine Rock Farm, I guess that's at South End for sure.
Yeah, Beaver Point.
Beaver Point, oh. You know the Testmans from there?
No, and then you flip it over and you've got our guest classes. The what is from there?
Marcus and Deirdre. They're just on Kings and Stevens.
Okay, no, I do not know them.
Very good friends of Harry, who I know you know.
Okay, of course.
Because Harry Burton is Mr. Apple, doing his apple thing.
Yeah.
So you have quite a selection of preserves and chutneys.
And I make
whatnot.
all these things myself. It's a labour of love. It's all homemade and organically grown. These are all my stuff. Hi.
Excellent.
I do. Not commercially, no. I mean, I have got a background of India.
I met someone before, and she was doing some classes.
Yeah, no, not me.
And there you go. People, even though you have 400 different jars, somebody's looking for a new one, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Always the way. Saskatoon berries or Logan, there's always something I don't have. I stick with it. I said berries are my passion. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and blackberries. They all grow here on Salt Spring.
Absolutely. So you got some apple stuff, I guess, in honor of today, too?
I do, totally. The feature of the day is apple butter, speak very clear, which is just apples. There's 4 different varieties of apples that you cook down and cook down and cook down until you get this delicious butter-like paste.
There, I see that.
With nothing added except a little touch of cinnamon.
One of my big regrets at the Salt Spring Apple Festival is that we don't have smell-o-vision for the radio because...
Yes, well, you are regretting it. And then I have the curried apple chutney, which is a little bit spicy there.
Very nice.
But apple makes a delightful chutney, and that's one of the things that I do.
And that is the basis of apple. So they have I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Tangachi.
Oh, you are Tangachi.
I'm Tangachi, by Tangachi, surprisingly enough.
I gotcha. Okay, I thought that was a place. Silly me. Just because I live on the island means I don't know geography. So I'm looking across, and what I do, I think, stands out for me right away is the variety. How many different kinds that you have on your table here? Like, I assume every one of those is different because they have different colors.
Every single one of those is... They're variations on the same. Because I mentioned the berries, blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry. Then I've got the soft fruits. There's peach, pear, plum, apricot, nectarine, apples, blueberries. It just goes on and on. And I also... And an exception to every rule, which is local, I'm on a 100-mile diet, is I make an orange marmalade and a mango chutney. You have to have an exception to every rule.
Well, and we can't. It's not like you could buy an orange here. You have to go to somewhere.
Well, that's the point. Yeah. There's what comes from afar, but everything else is local.
Nice, very nice. So Tangachi, where can they reach you? Do you have web presence, or how do they find you?
They find me at the Saturday market on Salt Spring Island. I am there April through October, and if they happen not to come on a Saturday, they have to go to Waterfront Gallery in Ganges, which is situated next to the post office, and they have my full range of products there.
Okay, and that's the gallery in...
Waterfront Gallery
And I'm trying to remember the name of that square.
It's Purvis Lane.
Purvis Lane, but there's a name for the square.
Maybe, but I don't know. And
what's the name of that square where the liquor store is in downtown?
No, it's not. It's not. That's not where I am.
You're across the street.
It's the post office. I'm talking about Waterfront Gallery.
Okay.
And that's just Purvis Lane.
Purvis Lane, right next to the big clock at the fire hall.
Yeah, and the post office, yeah.
And the
that's
post
how
office.
they find it. Waterfront Gallery.
Excellent.
Okay,
Excellent.
and the other product I haven't mentioned is my wonderful calendula healing cream. I make all food products except the healing cream because I grow the flowers in my garden.
Okay, but you use a similar rendering process to get the essentials out?
No, I use the sun to get the process because I don't want to damage the jams are all cooked on the stove.
Right.
But the calendula, it takes the heat from the sun, so I put them in glass jars on my deck and made in the summer, and the heat from the sun is enough to draw the properties into the oil.
Gotcha.
And that's how I make my calendula healing cream. Thank you so much.
And we have a strawberry jam winner. All right, Tangachi, I'm going to let you keep selling your product. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much. Very pleased to meet you. Bye-bye.
Have a great festival.
I give you back?
All right, so that was interesting. Tangachi and her amazing array of gels and chutneys and jams and topical cleansers. Calendula. Lovely. Only available here on Salt Spring at the Saturday Market and during the week at the Waterfront Gallery next to the post office. The Salt Spring Apple Festival, touring around to the various farmers and vendors, and I'm here with
Marcia Goldberg, Eagle Ridge Seeds.
Eagle Ridge Seeds, and
Local company.
As much as Tangachi had all those jams and jellies and amazing array, they're doing the same thing here with tomatoes. I got yellow tomatoes, big ones, small ones, Roma ones, cherry ones, yellow ones,
Pear-shaped ones.
Purple tomato. Okay, tell me about the purple tomatoes.
Well, that's a unique discovery from California. And an heirloom. I'm going to let you actually. That's one there. That one.
Yeah, I think I'd like to try that right here on the radio.
Well, I think it might translate to your customers that are listening.
There we go.
There you go. Have a try.
Let me first describe this to the listeners at home. It very much looks like a big, juicy grape, except that when I look at the inside, it's traditional tomato with lots of little seeds and a wonderful dark purple skin. So here we go. Here goes nothing. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, is that full of flavor? Woo-hoo. I'm drooling here. Hang on.
I do have seeds if you want them.
That's what I mean.
I have to package them up. I had all my pre-packs are gone because that tray was stuffed. It's so unique, and I'm thrilled to have it. And something that tastes that good.
Well, we're definitely going to pick up a few packs of seeds.
No worries. Do you want to try Lunch Bucket?
I just tried Lunch Bucket. We're definitely going to get those. Yeah, we're going to come back for those.
Okay. Anything else you want to try? Now, that one is a classic Salt Spring heirloom called Mary's Austrian. It's a family heirloom.
It looks like a giant pepper.
It is. It looks, doesn't it? It comes from Austria. Not very many tomatoes come from there. The family I got this from were growing it in Austria for hundreds of years. They've been passed from family to family, generation to generation.
Yeah.
When they moved to Salt Spring, they brought the seeds with them.
Oh, really?
So it didn't even have a name. The lady who gave it to me, her name was Mary. She didn't want me to use her last name. I was very happy to. She said, please just call it Mary, and I called it Mary's Austrian.
Amazing.
It is classed as a paste type, but it's got very good flavor.
That kind of aroma paste type, like a meaty.
Yeah, but it's meaty, but it's also good for fresh use, and
Nice.
and you can make sauce, and it's great if you want to chop it up in salsa or anything like that, where you need a tomato that has a little more body to it, that doesn't disappear.
Not just all juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're pretty proud to be able to keep offering that.
Yeah.
It's the variety that keeps jumping out at me. You've got traditional cherry tomatoes, then a more robust, not quite a full tomato, but still kind of a cherry. And then you got these tiny they're like salmon berries. They're so small.
Well, those are some of the original tomatoes ever. That's called Cuatemante. It's from Mexico. It's 1,000 years old.
Which one is?
And you can
Ancient tomato Cuatemante, used by the Zapotec Indians of Mexico for centuries. One of the original orange, cherry, fresh, rich. Isn't that something? They're so tiny. You'd like grab a handful and throw them in your mouth
why don't
like
you
nuts.
taste one?
Why don't I taste
Do you
one?
think that we could try one of these principe borghese?
Well, there's one right here.
Okay.
It's actually a drying tomato, but you
I'm
can
about
taste
to
it.
eat a
It's that one
1,000-year-old
right there.
tomato. Oh, and that's so original tomato, fresh. Yum.
Steak yesterday.
Yum,
I
yum, yum.
understand. It was a great year for tomatoes here.
Yes. Just one of these.
Black cherry?
Yeah. Pretty.
Out of there for you.
Thank you. Lunch bucket. Those little guys over there. He said 8 for 12. Oh, cool.
Wow. Okay, that
You
was
like
good.
that one, eh?
One of the things that I can personally attest to is because I live in the city for 2 weeks of each month and buy my tomatoes from the local store, and then I come back over here and taste an organic tomato, and the difference in the level of taste isn't subtle. It's really obvious. At least
That's
to me.
why I do it.
Amen.
It's one of the reasons why. I don't want these things to get lost.
I like that.
The trick is when you have something that's endangered or very rare, is to put it in people's hands so they can taste it, and if they like it, they'll continue to use it.
Right. They'll seek it
And they'll
out.
seek it out, and they'll encourage the people that are saving the seeds. Like there's a lot. I'm connected to a network all around the world of people like me that are saving endangered varieties.
And all of you send a package to the finish because they've got that seed vault that they built?
I'm not a big supporter of the seed vault.
Why is that?
I don't like freezing seeds.
I thought they were drying them. They are freezing
No,
them?
they freeze them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's not natural.
And part of the problem with that is if you let it go too long, you can get, if you have cool, dark, and dry seed storage, wherever, like we have a seed building that we designed especially to do that.
Okay.
You can get seeds to germinate that are 15, 20 years old if they're stored correctly.
If they're stored
And when they
properly.
do find these prehistoric or really ancient civilizations, especially like in the desert where it's very, very dry, and they find earthenware jars full of seeds.
Right.
And they're thousands of years old, and they can, carbon date these things.
Right.
And they germinate.
Nice. Mother Nature knew what
So
she's doing.
the freezing part isn't what.
Oops, somebody's in your pants there. Wow, so she got distracted by yet another customer as people line up to taste. These are amazing. I can't begin to tell you what's going on here. But this one here was my surprise.
The Guatemala.
The Guatemala, that apparently is one of the original tomatoes ever.
And here's another one. Itamate Bolito. This is
Okay.
also from the Zapotec Indians.
Right? It's called the Pasto Jitomate?
Yeah.
Bolito.
J is E.
Itomate Bolito.
Yeah,
Ancient
Jay's-
Mexican heirloom tomatoes used by the Zapotec Indians. Cooking and fresh, 5 to 10 seeds or 3 to 5 inches. They're kind of a unique shape, too.
Very unique. You don't
They're,
see that today.
yeah, if we
Hundreds
weren't
of
on
years
radio,
old.
I'd take a picture and show you guys.
Hundreds of years old.
Isn't that excellent? I love it. I
So
love
that's what it's all about, making sure these things don't get lost.
it. Okay, and it was Monica...
Marcia.
Sorry, Marcia. It was Marcia at Eagle Ridge Seeds here on Salt Spring Island, and is clearly one of the tomato pushers on the island. So if you're over here, look them up. Eagle Ridge Seeds, you'll find them in the Lions telephone book. Thank you, Marcia.
Thank you. Have a
See
good
you
day.
soon.
Want to try it? Simple. Lunch bucket.
Magee again in Fulford Hall for the Salt Spring Apple Festival, looking around at all the cool and groovy stuff. And I am standing at the table of the Fairy Doors of Salt Spring Island, which, if you're unaware of that, I think I'll ask, who am I with?
Adele Storm.
Adele, tell us about the Fairy Doors of Salt Spring.
Well, Fairy Doors of Salt Spring started with Erskine, how he came to Salt Spring. And Mr. Roger Brown took up this legend and ran with it. The fairy doors appear and disappear, and he thought he'd give the elves a hand.
Aha.
And he started with the door here and the door there, and it became so popular that he made doors and had all the local artists paint them. And that's what's on the table here.
Excellent. For those of you listening to this interview live, I will, at the end of the interview, throw some pictures up on our Facebook page for you to have a look at. Some pretty cool stuff here.
Absolutely. And Roger's made contact with a painter and artist on Cedar on Vancouver Island, and she's doing some fantastic work, and they are the doors on the top.
So before the pictures get up, I'll tell you we have Alice in Wonderland rabbit-style little elves, all wonderfully carved from single pieces of wood. But what really stands out is the variety of little doors. They're like 1.5 to 2 feet tall and have a tremendous range of motifs. In fact, everyone is truly unique. A very individual work of art. Would look excellent on a mantelpiece, or even better, tucked away in the corner of the den, hidden under some plants. I think that would look great. Okay, so let's just pick one of these at random. The one that stands out, it looks like it's meant to be part of a tree. It has a bark background and a little mischievous elf girl peering through the door. We don't really let us see what's back there, but it's clear that something magical is back there. I'll throw that up there. We've got, and they're functioning doors. We have doors on groovy little hinges where you open them up to see swans and elves and little water sprites. Very Anne McCaffrey, very Andre Norton-ish, very fantasy-oriented. And posters. Oh, we have a Chronicles. Is this the Roger you're referring to?
Yeah, this is the author.
Okay, so there's a nice little half-inch thick book here. Well done. Production value is up there. Illustrated by Margaret Threlfall and written by Roger M. Brunt. And it's the Salt Spring Chronicles, which I assume is a history of things that are salt springy, as in anecdotes and local lore, stories of local places of interest like Willowcrest Farm. And they discuss... all of it seems to be rotating around old orchards and pear trees. Because I understand Salt Spring was, in fact, the fruit basket of BC for years until I guess until they irrigated the Okanagan. Sure. And of course, no book on Salt Spring would be complete without a discussion of some of the original characters that inhabit this island, past and present. So. That's here. It's a book called The Salt Spring Chronicles by Roger Blunt. We have a couple of dozen fairy doors and magic cards, and they've got.
And this is how Erskine came to Salt Spring. Also written by Roger Blunt, and he's in the hall. He's in the far corner there, so I will definitely speak to him.
I will do that.
And the sequel to the book, and what Roger also does, he has a magic fairy door, and this is the most famous one on Salt Spring, and it's at the Treehouse Cafe.
Oh, yes.
You open the magic door, the instructions are there, there's blocks and cards, and the children leave their letters.
And they make it into the book.
And Erskine will answer all their letters.
And it's what I see already, just quickly looking at these. I am from Japan, I am from Tokyo, I was born in Nepal. Dearest Erskine. I love it.
Yeah.
So Erskine is the fairy?
Erskine is the fairy.
Gotcha.
This is Erskine.
Well, hello. Gee, it looks a lot like Dave Gordon. It does look a lot like Dave Gordon.
And there he's reading the
letters from the children.
From the children, and then he writes back.
All right, so that's at the treehouse. So if you're over here with your kids, or even without your kids, slip over to the treehouse, have a burger, listen to some music, and leave a message for Erskine the Elf right here on Salt Spring Island. All right, this is fantastic. This is so Salt Spring. It is the thing that we go for. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to take some pictures and put them up on our Facebook page, and do come and visit the Salt Spring Island Apple Festival.
Are we recording? Yes. Yes, we are. So many apples, so little time. So many apples, so little time. But take the time to taste the apples along the way. 16th Annual Salt Spring Island Apple Festival. The event runs today, 9 till 5. Best starting point is Fulford Hall, south end, about 1 kilometer from the Fulford Ferry. People buy a program at Fulford Hall, and also available at the north end at the Ganges Info Terminal. For $10, $5 for students, and kids are free. This gives you a self-guided tour of the 18 Apple Festival host farms to explore, many of which are not formally open to the public. This is Gulf Islands Radio.
program are brought to you by the Centennial Park Water Fountain. Come on down, have a drink on us. It's free. The Centennial Park Water Fountain. It's as wet as it can be. All for you. And it's free.
Be sure to check out all the other great shows on GulfIslandRadio.com.
It's Bobby Magee again for Gulf Island Radio here at the Salt Spring Island Apple Festival, wandering around seeing some of the eclectic and wonderful displays. Those of you listening to us live will heard me doing a little bit of a discussion regarding the elf doors of Salt Spring, and as luck would have it, as I wandered through the hall, I ran into the author of Erskine the Elf to the rescue, and all of the other Erskine the Elf. This is Roger.
Yes, Roger Bruns.
Roger Bruns, author, eclectic designer of elf, and worker with artists, I hear.
Well, I came to Salt Spring Island about 25 years ago, and the ferry doors were already on Mount Erskine. I thought it was the most fantastic thing I'd ever seen.
Oh, yes, I can see that. It is. It's magical.
And gradually, over the years, I kind of took it upon myself to try to perpetuate that.
Gotcha. Don't want to lose those good stories.
Right. I don't make doors and put them on Mount Erskine. To me, that would be like going to St. Paul's Cathedral and selling stained glass in the lobby.
Gotcha. I understand.
But I make ferry doors and people buy them and put them in their yard.
And you're a tour guide for the existing ferry doors out there.
Exactly.
And some of the work, I have to confess, somebody of some serious talent has been carving some of these doors.
Yes.
In fact, you could say it was almost elf-like in its magic.
You could say that.
Yeah.
Yes, I make the ferry doors, but I don't install them in the woods.
No, elves pick them up at events like this, and then they'll take them out there so they can get to and from home.
Well,
so I see... tell me about your books here.
What's interesting is me and my friend Doug Walston wrote a book about Mount Erskine mainly, so that the knowledge about how the doors came and what they are is going to be saved, because of all the doors that were on the Mount Erskine, when I came here 25 years ago, there's only one that's the original door.
Of course, everything starts from someplace. So this book is called The Ferry Doors of Salt Spring Island by Roger Brunn and Doug Walston. Okay.
And there's a picture here in the front that's worth looking at to show you exactly what I mean. This is on page 9, and it shows 3 ferry doors, but they're all on the same rock.
Oh, yes.
This was the first ferry door anybody ever saw on Mount Erskine. It disappeared, this one replaced it, it disappeared, and this is the one that's there now.
Maybe there was a change in elf code.
Maybe. This door is gone, the tree fell over. Pretty well, let me just quickly flip through, I'll show you another one. Of these doors, this one is gone.
Okay.
And this is interesting. The people that put this door there were people that owned land and donated it to Mount Erskine Park. And the man died suddenly young, 50, 55 years old. And after his death, his wife went up the mountain to sit by the door and kind of commemorate. When she got there, the door was gone.
Oh.
So I said, well, maybe the door is with her husband.
Right, he closed the door behind him.
Maybe.
That could be.
Yeah.
So has somebody replaced that?
Yes. There's always about the same number of doors, 13, 14 doors, but they're always different. They change all the time.
So if you come back every year, you're going to have to look at new places and see new different doors. Excellent.
Some of them have been there for a long time, but other ones, they come, they go.
I see. Some of them actually have inherited names for them, like the blue tree door, and I see that. And other ones, perhaps not so much.
This is the one that is in a cave on the mountain, so I said there's a dragon lives there, but he's not too bad because his fire went out.
Again, the fire department passed no fires during the summer months, right?
Yes, that's correct. And I'll show you very quickly here another one that's interesting. There was a doctor here named Karen Berg,
yes,
a female physician. she volunteered at this elementary school when her kids were small, and the kids all made fairy doors and put them on Mount Erskine.
Okay.
All of those fairy doors are gone, except the original one she made, and she passed away.
Oh dear. That's how that works.
And yet there's no fewer doors now than there ever were.
Maybe there's like sometimes you find those book places where take a book, leave a book.
That's exactly
Maybe it's take a door, leave a door.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So somebody will say, we went up the mountain, we saw where somebody had wrecked a fairy door or taken a door, and we're upset. I said, don't be, because in a little while there'll be another one. Maybe not in exactly the same spot, but they come and go and they change and they evolve.
And you know what? I bet that sometimes creatures of the night try to invade the fairy world, and like they huff and they puff and they blow on the door.
Right. Now we're facing a golden opportunity here because Doug Walston is the photographer. And Doug, right at this very moment, I'm being interviewed live. So if you would like to step around, you can be interviewed live because you have your own thoughts about the fairy doors on Mount Erskine. So far, that's all we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, so this is Doug Wallstrom?
Yeah.
Doug Wallstrom, who is the illustrator for the Erskine Elf books, as written by Roger Brunt. And just so you know, we're interviewing for Gulf Island Radio. You saw the tent just outside the door.
Oh, okay.
So we're laying these in over the course just for those people that are shut in or can't get to the island.
Yes.
So how did you get involved in the illustrating part of this?
Well, that was completely by chance.
Okay.
I have hiked up Mount Erskine several times, and 2 years ago I was coming down in December.
Okay, that's crazy.
And I could hear these children talking, very animated.
Right.
And very excited. And I came down a little further, and there they were, 4 of them, at what we call the green door.
Right.
Yes, okay. And they had a magic key that they thought was going to open the door. I had a camera.
There it is.
Yeah. I had a camera with me. So I took the pictures. I took several pictures, and it was neat. And it turned out that I knew the mother of 2 of these girls, so I asked permission to use it for this book. And that was really the thing that triggered this whole project.
So not just the imagery and taking pictures of the magic, but the magic through the eyes of children.
Oh, yeah.
It's real now.
Absolutely.
This is not a fantasy. This is real. Magic is right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So once that happened, then I decided, and talked with Roger, and decided to try and find all the doors up there, take pictures of them. And then Roger knew where there were others elsewhere. And gradually the book took shape.
And as I found out, that if you came every year to look at the elf doors of Salt Spring, there would be different doors and they would be in different places, so you're not going to be doing the same thing over and over, which is part of magic, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes I think these elves may move the doors themselves.
That would be the logical explanation.
If things get a little too busy or whatever, there are occasions when they're just gone.
Well, it's my understanding that if you move the door, you move the part of the elf universe you're going to.
Well, yes.
So one door doesn't go to the same place. It's a connection at that tree or at that mountain.
Yeah.
See, and now we have a fellow here, of course, with the Supernatural T-shirt, sliding right into the terminology of the elf doors of Salt Spring Island. That's so great.
Yeah, in fact, I'm heading out right now for another sort of a photo shoot down at the Chris Hatfield Trail.
Yes.
You know about that?
I do, yes.
It's become a little bit of a controversy.
Why?
Well, because some of the neighbors have decided that it's bringing too much traffic to the neighborhood.
It's Chris Hatfield.
Yeah, I know. And they wanted to tear down some of the monuments.
NIMBY.
So,
it never disappears on this island. It's crazy.
So we'll see. But
I want a sewage treatment plant in Victoria, but not in my backyard.
Yeah. But I'm going out there because I've been there several times, and I've actually seen a ferry out there.
Okay.
And I have pictures of it.
Excellent. That'll be in the next book that comes out?
And it's been in different places. I'm making a slideshow right now that is going to be on display in TJ Beans.
Okay, that's excellent. TJ Beans, for those of you who don't know, is right across from the fire hall and the big clock tower in downtown.
Yeah.
And And they're great people too.
So they offered to host this slideshow that people do.
Excellent.
Perhaps I can mention one thing for
Sure.
the people that don't know. The Treehouse Cafe is probably our most well-known landmark cafe.
I took a picture of that one.
In the front of the cafe there is a fairy door with a treasure box and pen and paper. And if anyone, children young and old, would like to write to the elves, they write a letter, put it in the treasure box, and they will get a letter back in the mail.
It's my understanding that it's not just any elf, but Erskine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Erskine will personally write the letter.
There you go.
And in the last 3 summers, Erskine has written 5,000 letters.
5,000. That's a lot of discussions.
And right now we are together looking at some of them.
Excellent. Yes, when I was talking to Marcia, we stopped and talked about how so many of these children are not born here, but then they come here for whatever reason, because they're not born here, they feel an extra layer of the magic. Yeah. And on that note, I'm going to move on. Doug, thank you very
nice
much.
talking with you.
Roger, keep up the good work, you guys. This is Bobby Magee at the Salt Spring Island Festival. Just interviewed Doug and Roger, authors and illustrators of the Erskine the Elf books here on Salt Spring Island.
If you could email